author started Co-Design and Shared Practices, an overview of processes of learning in non-formal education context. Well, so we are in the non-formal context. It is a very interesting. In this paper, the authors discussed shared practices and co-design methodology in constructing an informal process and contextually situated and encouraging knowledge. Okay, so I invite Inês to explain the reason of this paper and the main results. Thank you.
Hello, I hope everyone is seeing my presentation now. I think so. So as I was introduced, so my name is Inês Santos Moura, and I'm a PhD student in the doctoral program of Information and Communication in Digital Platforms in the University of Aveiro. And I'm here today to present some of my PhD work. And the title of my presentation is Co-Design and Shared Practices in the context of, sorry, here, I'm just, I have a problem here with my presentation.
So what is your problem? So you cannot go ahead? It is freezed?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so you can stop the sharing. Okay.
Oh, yes, maybe.
So try to stop the sharing and try to re-sharing the presentation.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Inês, I'm sorry. If you could share your screen instead of the PowerPoint. I don't know if you shared PowerPoint.
I think it's working now. I think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
So you're welcome.
So the title of my presentation is Co-Design and Shared Practice, an overview of process of learning in non-formal educational contexts. And my research project is funded by the Fundação para a Ciência e Tecnologia with an individual doctoral scholarship. And just to give some further details about my research project, one of the main goals is to analyze and reflect on the potential of digital technologies in fostering relationships of proximity and citizen participation in the urban context of the Herculano neighborhood. This neighborhood is located in the city of Porto. So the research context is the urban community of the Ilha Herculano neighborhood. This neighborhood was built during the late years of the 19th century. And this term Ilha, it means island in English, and is used to describe a set of small houses that were built for the working class during this period. So here is a map of the riverside of the city of Porto, and red highlighted, you can see where is located this particular neighborhood, and it's located in the historic city center. Now I will focus on the co-design methodology. So this design methodology emerged between the 1970s and 1980s in Scandinavia, and it was intended to provide research work accomplished in partnership with the workers' unions and academics. So in this sense, it was a way that workers could determine the form and which the new technology would be introduced in their work environment. So in this, in participatory design or co-design, the roles are mixed, and the people who will use these services are also play an important role in the development of knowledge, generation of ideas, and in the design of the product itself. So on the left, we can see the traditional roles of the users, the researchers and the designers in this design process. And on the right, we can see that these roles are and these parts merge in the co-design process. So relating to co-design experience, Sanders, this author, comments that the roles of the designer and the researcher blur, and the user becomes a critical component of the process. So people want to express themselves and to participate directly and proactively in this design process. So we can say there is a collaborative working process in developing ideas and developing all these concepts and reflecting how these models and prototypes will be designed. So the co-design methodology provides users and designers with all different access, to different materials and techniques to express their memories, their reflections, and to envision a future situation. So we can say also that co-design has developed different methods to include and encourage the user's participation in this design process. Here we have an image that shows the various contexts of the co-design methodology that promote the participatory process of production and production of knowledge. Here we can see some of the contexts would be participation, digital literacy, and the non-formal education. So in this co-design methodology, participation is an important element, and it's important also to the process of digital learning in the context of the non-formal education. So this learning and participation process are important to produce knowledge relating to a certain reality. So this digital literacy also plays a significant role in the learning and cognitive process. And as this author, Conrad, explains, digital literacy is changing the way we think, and it also can promote a new mindset, improving the cognitive abilities to succeed in today's knowledge-based society. And in this contemporary and social technological context, digital literacy is also important and relevant because it's a way to individuals to read, interact, and critically understand these info communication contents and the respective creation and production mechanism to which he or she has access. So it's a way to reflect also in this way of producing this content. So process of learning and making things together in non-formal education. As these authors mention, learning is also doing things together. And also this process of learning can take place anytime and, for example, by using smart devices. And this author, Gauntlet, explains that when we are creating something, we are establishing a form of connection and we are engaging in a social dimension, and it's a way to connect with other people too. And when we are sharing this and when we are sharing with the world, we also are increasing our engagement and our connection with our social and physical environments. So we can say that making, as these authors mention, making is also about understanding in practice, and it's related with an active engagement with our material world and culture. So this, the Gauntlet's reflections are essential because they demonstrate the importance of creating content from image or to other physical objects, because they are a way to stimulate communication and direct connection with other people by presenting them and discussing them. So from this perspective, non-formal education helps a particular community to develop their skills, to improve their lives and their relationships in society. And also, Gauntlet indicates that by making something, we are engaging in the process of discovery and idea creation. So this image shows how several elements compose these learning processes and the co-producing of knowledge. So some of the elements are, for example, the knowledge production, the collaborative work, or the shared responsibility, individual and in group, the sharing of ideas and experiences, the creating something in common. So therefore, this learning process should be thought and applied concerning its multidimensional quality. So we can say that non-formal education aims at the formation of emancipated citizens and thus also promoting citizen education. So when people participate, they tend to continue in this process of civic involvement, and their active participation grows. And in non-formal education contains a participatory learning process within it, and this participation can be seen as a form of citizen and civic participation, where people get involved and in making something, whether it's a mobile app, a movie, or another object. So these learning processes also involve working towards a common purpose. Some final considerations. So the co-design methodology is a way to increase and to create different points of views at the social context, and considering all in this creative process of sharing and generating knowledge and creating solutions. So we think that it is necessary to establish a conversational connection, to reflect and to seek to understand the different networks and different possible networks and intersections that exist and that they are present and could be established in a non-formal educational environment that promotes digital literacy, the participation, and taking into account that this current technological and social phenomena. And these are the references, and I would like to thank you for your attention. I think I was a little bit fast, but I was thinking that maybe I would present in 10 minutes. So
no, Inês, it's perfect. So we
okay.
have times to discuss about your results, so your presentation. And so I invite all the presents to pose you some questions.
Yes, thank you.
So I have more than one. So via chat.
Okay, chat.
No questions. Okay. So first of all, so I believe in the non-formal education. So it is very interesting. So perfect, you know. So, but you know that so we are into a digital literacy that's so right now so is changing, is challenging, and its transformation so is so so fast, so important, so that I have a question. So it's not a question, it's sort of an interesting point so to discuss. So could, in your opinion, this shortly and this digital literacy transformation lead to a deep reconstructing of educational settings, in your opinion? So
yes, because it changed the way. One of the studies, Conrad, that one of the authors that I mentioned, she said that when we are reading and using reading digitally, our brain, we use different parts of our brain, and is absolutely changing the way we absorb the information and the way we have a perception of the world. So I believe that it could be a way to restructure the way we teach and all these educational contexts. And I think it's already changed, but it's something that will gradually change, because sometimes schools or other contexts are not so prepared to receive these new digital context, but students and other people, and in non-formal education, I can talk about my PhD research context. They are mainly older people, but even older people are using smartphones to take pictures and to connect with others online. And I use this to develop and co-produce a web documentary. So I'm using this digital literacy, these new ways of co-producing images by mobile phone, for example, to co-produce this web documentary. So I think this digital literacy could lead, yes, to to a transformation in society. And I think it's already happening, but we need more studies probably to understand how this will affect us in the future. But this author is, she showed something that actually it's happening now. The way we use the information, and it's not the same thing if you read a book physically or digitally. So this will influence the way we interact in the future and how we will use this information and learn. It's very important. I think in my PhD, I see that people are really interested in using these new technologies.
Yes, I'm completely agree with
sorry,
you. So
I didn't know
so
if I answered.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. So we are into the storm. So that's the focus.
Yes.
So we are into the storm. So, and I invite all the researchers and myself to direct this storm in order to create a better society and a better education environment.